From the Middle is a proud member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Oh, for the love.
Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the Middle after dark over here.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode 67 of our Comedy and Culture podcast. We are three middle-class guys living in the middle of America, the middle chapters of our lives with a point of view somewhere in the middle. I'm one of your hosts, Dylan, alongside Corey and Kendall, and we're very excited to be here today. Thank you so much for tuning in.
That's like a mixture of Harry Carey and William Shatner.
Great. I'm really excited that I could forge my own new path with this absurd announcer voice.
Oh, boy.
So if you're tuning in for the first time, we are a comedy and culture podcast. We like to cover all things like dads, that dads would like and geeks would like, and just things we're into. Very conversational. Come along for the ride. Like you're sitting around a fire, enjoying s'mores, and sitting with it.
Yeah.
I like s'mores. How very fall s'mores are.
Cast your pods into the middle.
What's going on with you guys? Any new updates? Anything new? Did I tell you about our Twitter poll? Star Wars Twitter poll? Did I mention?
I saw it, but you didn't explain the background.
Tweet.
Okay.
Here's the thing. So from the last one, especially, I did see it, and I specifically did not want to click on it or vote in it or anything because I want to guess. So let me guess. So read the thing.
Your integrity is off the charts. Okay. I threw a lot of different polls out there. It's usually just whatever I happen to be thinking about. However uninteresting or interesting the poll is, I just ask whatever question, right?
That's how podcasts get started.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly it. Yeah, I mean the silly, unprofessional ones. Anyways, so I was thinking about Star Wars in the sense that, and some of the middlers just went, oh, okay, here we go. But I was thinking about Star Wars, and everyone's going to always say for a long time how the original trilogy is their favorite. So you can never ask what people's favorite content is because you can never really get past that part of the discussion, right? So I thought, I'm going to make a Twitter poll that's very, very clear. Outside of the original trilogy, what are fans, or what is fans' favorite Star Wars visual content? So I'm not talking about the books and the comics at this point. So here were my options, and I want you guys to weigh in, and then I'll tell you where the results lie as of the moment that I happen to be looking at it. So if you can't pick the original trilogy, you would either have to vote for the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3 as a category. That's one option.
Okay.
The sequel films, episodes 7, 8, and 9, that's option 2. The spin-off films, which currently stands as Rogue One and Solo, that's option 3. And Star Wars TV, canon television, which would be all-encompassing as far as Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated series, Star Wars Rebels, the animated series, Star Wars Resistance, the animated series, and The Mandalorian, the live-action series. So all of those lumped together are option 4. Now, one of my favorite things that somebody said in the comments on Twitter was, I hate these groupings. Which is exactly why I grouped them the way that they did. Because from a categorical standpoint, it makes total sense. Prequels, sequels, spin-offs, or television. And I realized by grouping them the way that they are, that some things get carried by other things. So Rogue One was almost universally accepted as a great movie. Solo's kind of getting carried by being in the same category as Rogue One. Mm-hmm. And conversely, no one's voting for Star Wars Resistance as one of the best pieces of Star Wars content, but it's kind of getting carried by Clone Wars, the animated series, and The Mandalorian, obviously being wildly popular as well. So I understand.
Obviously.
So I understand some things are carrying others in categories, but that's intentional, and I do think it think it makes it a little harder to vote. So I'm curious, since we're all varying degrees of Star Wars fans, how would you guys answer episodes 1 through 3, episodes 7 through 9, Rogue One and Solo, or Star Wars Television?
How would we answer, or what do we think did best?
Both. Do both. So first, how would you answer as what is your favorite set of content?
I immediately go to 3 or 4, so then it becomes a contest between is Rogue One better, because I'm not even including Solo, is
Fine.
Rogue One better than all the cartoons, is really what it comes down to for me.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it does. I'm going to go 3.
You're Rogue One / Solo. I realize it's really just Rogue One.
Yeah.
But you're picking the category that is Rogue One and Solo.
Yes.
Okay. Kendall?
I'm self-debating between the same choices, but for somewhat different reasons. I legitimately enjoyed both Rogue One and Solo. I thought Solo was a fantastic movie for what it is, and it was especially like I thought it was appropriate. You're going to make a movie about Han Solo.
Right. It
was an appropriate tone for that movie, in my opinion, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Rogue One was just it was a good war movie. But then with the TV, it's like The Mandalorian is really the only one I'm considering in that. So it's like, for me, it's like The Mandalorian for me is carrying all of the cartoons put together.
I forgot about The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which why I love these categories.
So, I mean, I started watching Clone Wars with my son who lost interest, and so we stopped watching them. But that's the extent of animated I've seen for Star Wars. So I'm going to say Mandalorian. I'm going to say the TV.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. I feel the same way about Solo. I think I've said it before. For a movie that no one was asking for, I think it was a perfectly good Star Wars movie. And one of the Middlers, Brandon and I were discussing it, and From the Middle for the Middlers, our kind of listener page on Facebook. And if I remember the backstory on Solo a little bit, it was Lawrence Kasdan, who worked on some of the original films, was approached by Lucasfilm as they were coming up with new content that they wanted to make. And he said the only thing that would be interesting to him to pursue making was something about Han Solo. And so from Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy's point of view, if you want somebody like Lawrence Kasdan to work on new content, and he says the only thing interesting would be to work on Solo, you probably do it. And I think that's what happened. And I think if you view Solo through that kind of context, it makes total sense why they made it. They probably already knew they were working on something behind the scenes with a Mandalorian character. They had been teasing Obi-Wan content for a while. That's coming to Disney Plus as a series. So I think Solo makes a lot more sense. I still don't know how to answer my own question, and that's why I really wanted to see what other people voted. So I think I could confidently say it's not episode 7, 8, and 9 for me. It really boils down to the prequels versus Rogue One versus The Mandalorian, I think is what it really boils down to. And as much as I love The Mandalorian, I think I can even say it's the prequels versus Rogue One. And I think Rogue One is my favorite film, but I don't think any of it would be as meaningful without the prequels having helped build up. I think the prequels are too important. And I think I don't think I can write off 3 films where we got to see some, as much as people want to knock them, we got to see incredible clone battles, and we got to see Jango Fett, and we got to see Duel of Fates, and we got more John Williams score. I just don't think I can pick Rogue One over the prequel. I think I have to pick the prequels as my favorite content. But you're talking like, if you're on YouTube, it's like the prequels are here, and then like Rogue One is a fingernail right underneath. Anyways,
fingernail is still fingernail, whether they're watching or listening.
Yeah, I know.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
I'm being visual. Okay, so now pick what you think people voted as their favorite content outside of the original trilogy. What do you think is number one?
The fourth
I think
category.
four. I think
the
four
TV
is one.
stuff.
I think TV is the number one category, both
Yeah.
of you. That's correct. And I'll say from the best to the worst, I actually love that the best to the worst rating is only a 9 percentage point swing.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
not a drastic swing.
Holy cow.
I thought for sure the sequel trilogy was going to be like
That's, yeah.
20-30% point underdog to the best content, but it's not. You're right. The TV content, including Mandalorian, is the number one fan favorite. At 29% of the votes went to the TV content. And I think you've got to include Clone Wars because it's still a very, very popular series, even though it's animated. So I think Mando and Clone Wars really made that category what it was. Again, nobody's voting for Resistance, even though it's technically bundled in there. Rebels was good. It has a following, but certainly not like Clone Wars and Mando. Okay, number 2 category. What do you think was the second most popular category of Star Wars content now outside of the original trilogy and outside of Star Wars television?
Probably the third.
Did you get a lot of responses?
Over 100
Over 100
at this point. It feels like enough.
Okay. I would say the sequel trilogy.
Corey?
I was going to say the third category, the Solo and Rogue One.
Solo and Rogue One it is. And I think based on most votes, I think it's really Rogue One. That it's not about Solo, although I do
Right.
It's a perfectly good Star Wars film. I think people were voting for Rogue One. All right. Second to the lowest, second to worst. What do you think was the favorite content?
Third place would be the
Now the prequels or the sequels?
third place would be the sequels.
Sequels.
Sequel. You're both wrong. It's prequel.
Wow.
The prequels are now so meme worthy. People are starting to like them more.
Our voters were young.
That's
what that means.
That is, I think so.
Probably true. But if
Jar Jar Binks is a lot of weight.
If you're taking OT out of it, I think age is almost irrelevant because now you can't have the older fans anchoring down the original trilogy. They're forced to pick something else. And so now the age categories I don't think matter. Although I do think people that are younger are genuinely going to like the younger at the time of the prequels are going to be probably more likely to have enjoyed them.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, and so last place, a 9-point swing from our number one place is the sequel episodes. Although I expected them to be last, I was surprised that they weren't a bigger swing from the top. So there it is. If anyone was interested, they can check out the results themselves. But I thought that was kind of fun because those groupings did make it tough. Maybe just for fun, and we don't have to hash it out again on here, I might narrow this down more now with the best of the best categories and say, all right, between Rogue One, Mandalorian, Clone Wars, and probably Rebels or Solo, what's your favorite content outside of the original trilogy? And now I'm just curious to see what individual thing people will like the most.
I love that you're doing this, and we all bring something valuable to the From the Middle table, but I love that you have fun with these little polls and side games, if you will. Did you get any response about your NCAA video game tournament?
I had one response that if it were possible, it's not from a proximity standpoint, but if it were possible to play through with one fan of the show, that they would have enjoyed it, but they don't have a console anymore and they don't live close. So
I think you should still do it, and you just keep us updated. Keep us surprised.
Yeah, I certainly won't talk about it on the podcast any more than this moment, but maybe on social media, I'll just throw some updates out there.
Yeah.
And show how the bracket forms up. I don't know why I enjoy polls, but I do. And I ask some really dumb stuff that nobody cares about. But people answer, so at least somebody cares. But the Star Wars one was intriguing. I'm going back through the other ones just to see. I was asking about favorite foods. I was asking about King of the Sodas. I don't know. I asked really dumb stuff. It's literally stuff that pops in my head. Like, am I the centrist on this? Am I in the popular group, or am I in the group that would pick a lesser known thing? And that's when I typically start going, okay, I got to ask online and see where people.
Regardless, it's another great way for our listeners to interact with us online at From the Mid Pod everywhere, and you can participate in games and polls like the one you've just heard. So
yeah, good wholesome entertainment.
The most wholesome show on the internet
with the most wholesome polls.
The most wholesome polls. And if you have more thoughts on the Star Wars groupings and how much you hate them, please let me know, but I'm not going to change it. It was what it was, and Star Wars TV won. So
I know a subset of our listeners have already fallen asleep because we've talked about Star Wars for this long, but before we move from it, we have to update people on our most recent Lego purchases. The Mandalorian's ship from The Mandalorian shipped last week or the week before. That is the Razor Crest. Dylan and I each purchased that. Any other Star Wars Lego updates that we want to?
Yeah,
I'm sure people are dying to know.
Yeah, I got a lot more, but we don't have to talk.
So I could talk about my most recent Lego purchase if you want.
Let's do it.
So whatever was popular and off-brand when I was 9.
Lepin. Knockoff Legos are called Lepin.
It was Lepin, a whole box of Lepin.
Or Mega Blocks. Well, we posted that photo of our Razor Crests on social media, and I didn't talk about it in the last episode. Have you built yours yet?
No.
No. Okay, so I have this whole backlog of unbuilt things that I'm excited how long it's going to take me to build some of this. I might have also gotten the AT-AT, which was the 40th anniversary. Yeah, don't just cover the price with your finger. How much? It was the 40th anniversary of Strikes Back, and I might have also gotten a couple of the AATs and the 501 battle packs. A couple of each of those. So I'm very, look, I have a job with commission, and I never buy anything for myself.
Yeah.
So this is my splurge.
Tell our listeners what you told your wife about this most recent round of purchases, please.
Oh, well, see, I like to pre-buy my own gifts for the holiday. To make it so much easier for her to not have to pick anything. So I said, hey, our anniversary, very, very close. Hey, for you to not have to buy me anything for anniversary or Christmas, I'm just going to go ahead and place an order with Lego, and it's going to be much easier. And then I'll just open it and build it later, at some point. But so that's exactly what I did. She was fine. We're so bad at trying to buy things and then wrap it and then wait till Christmas. She'll buy something and want to give it to me 8 weeks early. So we tend to just kind of find bigger things. And her birthday is also in December. So we tend to just find bigger things and go, hey, could this just be anniversary Christmas or birthday Christmas or whatever? I'm just going to go ahead and get it. And then we'll just do really small gifts for Christmas because we already bought big stuff. But that's how I justified it. On top of commission and me not buying anything throughout the year unless it's from birthday or Christmas stuff. There was some really cool sets. Even if you're not into Star Wars, Lego's doing so many partnerships with other things right now. Just go to Lego's website and start looking at some of the new unique stuff they've built or they have that you can build. There's some really cool Harry Potter sets and Mario stuff, and they did a grand piano. They did a Super NES. You build the TV and an NES, and then the TV has a little dial you turn where Mario moves across the screen. They have so much stuff. It's crazy. So go check it out, and you'll see why I spend my paycheck there. So
that's fun.
That's it. That's what I got.
So our friends at Grief Burrito have a little segment of their show called Recommends. And it is simply things that they have watched or played that they would recommend to you. They have a beautiful little jingle that goes something like, things that we watched and played to recommend to you. I say we do our own cover of that, but in like a lounge singer / swing style. So sorry, Grief Burrito, we're stealing it, at least for this episode, until you send us a cease and desist. Things that we watched and played to recommend to you. I have a few recommendations.
Go.
So last month's free games on the PlayStation Plus included a game called Fall Guys, which is a hilarious, cute little game. Guys ever see the show Wipeout, where contestants try to make it through an obstacle course?
Yeah.
But it's got hilarious commentary. It's like a video game version of that with cute little characters where you simply have to survive or make it through the obstacle course, and like the first 50% make it through to the next round. And you're all playing with other players online. So it's just random obstacle courses of these little characters, and you try not to fall off the edge or be in the bottom 50%, right? It's really fun. It's very simple. It's escapism. It's cute. I recommend it. I've been playing a lot of Warzone. A lot for me is relative because, as you heard last week, I've been painting fences and things like that. But in the little time that I do have, Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone is a blast. And it's free. It's totally free. You can go get it for your computer, your Xbox, or your PlayStation. And it's cross-platform. So you can play, if you have a PlayStation, like smart people do. If you would like to play with someone who has an Xbox, you can all play together. It's totally cool. I've been playing
And the PC guys come in and kill all of you.
It's exactly right. I've been playing with some friends online who have Xboxes. It's great. So Call of Duty Warzone. And then I have a new YouTube channel to recommend to all of our listeners who enjoy the outdoors, or the television show Alone on the History Channel that I have talked about a lot, or any survival type shows. It is Fowler's Makery and Mischief. Zachary Fowler, up until the most recent season of Alone, was the longest, survived the longest on the show. He made it 87 days on the TV show Alone. And so up until the most recent season, which the winner went 100 days, Zachary was the longest surviving. That sounds wrong. You know what I mean? He lasted the longest on the show. He has his own YouTube channel, and he does a lot of different things, ranging from, he's very good with a slingshot. So he has Trick Shot Tuesdays, where he does some insane shot by throwing something in the air and hitting it with a slingshot or whatever. He did one where he had two bottles and there was like a cap in between the two bottles, and he managed to shoot the cap out from in between the two bottles, and they just landed on top of one. So he does Trick Shot Tuesdays. But one of the most exciting things that he does are 30-day challenges in the wilderness. And the only rule of the challenge is, if you want to eat, you have to catch it and cook it yourself. So you can bring as many supplies as you want, but you cannot bring any calories. And you have to survive for 30 days in that locale. The first season of that sub-series on his channel was in Texas, in the wilderness. But the most recent one that I'm not most recent, the one that I'm in the middle of now, is in the Canadian Rockies. And the landscapes are like insane, beautiful, picturesque, crystal clear lakes in the mountains with snow-capped mountains in the background. And the person that he's surviving simultaneously with is another contestant from a previous season of Alone. So again, they can bring as much as they want, but they cannot bring any calories other than coffee. They do bring their own coffee grounds. It's so good. So he does it is a little bit of some tool review or product review, like for those that are more outdoorsy. Here are the hammocks that I would recommend. Here are the fishing poles that I would recommend. But it's super fascinating to watch, and I'm all about it right now. So those are my recommends for the week.
Wow.
What are you guys watching? What are you guys playing? What are you guys reading? What would you recommend?
Kendall, you got any?
Beds. Right. Recommend beds, indoor ones. Not outdoor ones that are inflated and put inside of a tent where you intend to sleep there with your children.
Awesome.
So I recommend inside in an actual bed by yourself or with a significant other.
Got it.
Is what I recommend. Yeah.
Perfect.
You have so many new things right now. I'm a little jelly. I have one that I can think of. I haven't started any new shows, but we're a month away, 6 weeks, I don't know, away from Mandalorian season 2, which of course we're going to talk about that at some point. But currently, I don't know if you guys do this. So a lot of times when I'm working, I have music on in the background. Depending on the type of work, I might not be able to listen with lyrics. So I like ambient, like soundtracks or stuff like that, nature stuff, whatever. So I found a YouTube channel called Ambient Worlds, just like it sounds, and it's interesting. They basically take some of them are just generic nature, but most of them are pop culture or geek worlds where they'll take maybe, like, as an example, a static image of Hogwarts Castle. Then where there are lights in the image, they'll use probably something like Photoshop to make the lights kind of glow brighter and softer. And then they've got this like general, these like, it's like almost like dust or something blowing through the air. And then they'll add the ambient soundtracks from those things in it. So just as an example, they have different ambient background clips that are usually 2 to 3, 4 hours long from Mandalorian, Black Panther, Outlander, Elder Scrolls, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Tron, Warcraft.
They gotta have Zelda.
Probably there's Thor. There's some that are just Disney, like the Disney castle, like you're in the Disney park.
Oh, cool.
And Disney music playing in the background. It's so like relaxing when I'm working and need something without lyrics. So I work off my Mac, and then I have like a 27-inch 4K monitor off to the side. So I'll just like throw that YouTube channel up on the monitor and just let it play like over here to the side. And it's really cool. So if anybody's into that kind of thing, I found it not long ago, and it's just super relaxing. So I'll typically throw on something light like piano music or movie scores that aren't really heavy. So no Hans Zimmer, but like really, really light music scores in the background. Check out Ambient Worlds on YouTube. Very cool channel.
Definitely.
Music. I Dylan talked about music, and I wanted so a recent find of mine. I think I might have shared this on from the middle page. I don't remember. A band by the name of Wintergatan or Wintergatan. Wintergatan, all one word. And they're out of Sweden. They're extraordinarily creative, fantastic musicianship. Dylan, they are lyric free.
Ooh.
The most recent album that I could find was 2013, but I guess they're still around doing stuff live. But like the guy, like the sort of the lead dude who I gather does most of the writing, also does instrument inventing. So he's like making these weird electronic instruments and or mechanical instruments, like making his own music boxes and making his own. He's now in the process of making his second marble machine. So a marble machine that plays various instruments that he can like mechanically move pegs to change, like, and then compose a song on the thing. And then they do all of this stuff live as well. So you've got like him playing a xylophone and someone else playing a keyboard. They have a drummer, another guy playing a bass, and then they all switch around. It's like they each play like 15 different instruments over the course of one show. But it's incredible stuff. It's right up my alley. Wintergarten out of Sweden.
Nice. I'm going to check them out.
Check them out.
You have listeners in Scandinavia, so I'm sure they might be able to fill us in on some of their best tracks or albums.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't find a whole lot. But album-wise, what I could find, I bought.
All right. That sums it up for this episode of Recommends. Things that we watched and played to recommend to you. Stolen from Grief Burrito. Right.
Thanks, Billy.
The spicy boys of Grief Burrito. We've given them too much love over the last couple weeks. It's time to move on. Dylan, it's fall now, and we're moving into that season.
Yeah, I brought that up earlier. So sometimes when you're on social media, you can see, or it would appear as though, those like Halloween pop-up stores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like at every Big Ten stadium right now, I think is one.
Yes, that's exactly right. It would appear as though one of those stores has exploded over the lives of like whole families as you see their pictures and things that they're doing. Like there's just pumpkin and multicolored leaf things everywhere. And so my question was, we're approaching October. We're in the thick of fall as far as most people are concerned. Do you guys get excited? I mean, is that a thing for you? Like, do you get excited at all? And if so, when? It's like the whole debate around Christmas, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about fall or Halloween. I don't.
No, see, that is my point. We are talking about Christmas.
We are.
The slope is so slippery.
We're always talking about Christmas.
It goes from August 31st to Christmas stuff at the stores.
Right, but my point is we're talking about the ramp to Halloween, not the November 1st ramp to Christmas.
No,
yet.
I'm saying they've made it all in one. That's what I'm saying. It is all coalesced into one holiday jumble that is Fallmas.
Well, then, so that means for your family, because some people are like hardcore Halloween. Like I'm gonna decorate specifically in like September or October with like pumpkins and scarecrows, and there's a whole big ramp up to Halloween. Their memes that they're sharing are all Halloween and Beetlejuice and Nightmare Before.
I'm not.
It's all just a yellow brick road to get to Christmas, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's not my family. You said my family. It's not my family.
It's not my family either, but it is me.
That's what the stores do. August 31st, back to school. September 1st happens, and it's fall, Halloween, Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why.
It's because people like me exist, and I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not talking about stores, though. Like, you start seeing people posting about, like, they're excited for pumpkin spice lattes and wearing flannel shirts and hoodies outside, and I want to jump in leaves, and, it's that kind of stuff. There's none of... I know the stores will put out Christmas stuff in August. That's not what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm saying is, are you individually the type of people or type of family that you have a ramp up for fall and Halloween? Like you decorate or you make a big deal? Because there's a lot of people that I think are just zero to Halloween costume the week before Halloween. Like there's no decor. They don't play Halloween music and watch Beetlejuice and Nightmare Before Christmas for 6 weeks. It's like, oh, Halloween is next week. We need to go get you a costume and some plastic pumpkin bowls of candy and set it all out for a couple days.
Right.
Is there a ramp up for you? Are you those people?
Since Kendall is dripping in the droppings of his Christmas tree already, I'll go ahead and let him answer.
Yeah. So by Halloween, you mean like the introduction into Christmas, as evidenced by Nightmare Before Christmas. The movie proves my point. It's a Halloween movie. I watch that movie every year on Halloween because it's what the true meaning of Halloween is Christmas. It's the answer. Uh, I do have a sister who is all about Halloween. Halloween is her favorite holiday, almost to the extent of what Christmas is to me. So she has a crap ton of Halloween decorations, that some of which she leaves up all year.
When does she really start putting them out?
What's that?
When does she really start? The ones that she doesn't leave up.
That's a good question. My guess is like beginning of October. So I would say that the entire month of October is Halloween for her. Is that way. And we do decorate our house. We have like a few things that Amy likes to put out as fall decorations, not as Halloween specific, but as fall stuff. Mm-hmm. And we leave all of that up until the moment she tells me I'm allowed to put up Christmas stuff. And then I literally just throw all of that stuff outside and then put up all of our Christmas stuff.
Fair.
And then also, there's a meme that I'm going to use as a PSA for everybody. This is speaking to myself included. That we have enough going on in the world today. Lots of unrest, lots of uneasiness, and lots of uncertainty. And I think that we should, as a nation, just decide to let all of the pumpkin spice latte people enjoy their social media posts without us being jerks.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my promise to the world.
I think that's fair.
Let people have their buffalo check. Let people have their pumpkin spice lattes. Let people have their jeans tucked into their riding boots. Just let them enjoy. Okay?
We don't need to. Yep.
Midler and former guest James Taylor posted a couple weeks ago that he was listening to Mariah Carey Christmas. And I thought, you know what? If there's a year that we need that in September, it's this year. Just let everyone have whatever their weird holiday things they want to do are. And honestly, Kendall, I'd like to hear more from your sister, since we'll have plenty of time from when this episode drops until Thanksgiving, if she's got any other thoughts on fall decorating for Halloween traditions. Have her chime in via voicemail or email or whatever. I'd love to hear from her, since she's quite the Halloween enthusiast.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
So Dylan, my answer to your question is, yes, I get excited about fall, but I want to enjoy each season, each holiday, each thing. I just don't like that it's meshing all together like we discussed earlier. So we had an extra bale of straw in the garage because we were trying to grow some grass. And I'm like, let's just throw that on the front porch with a pumpkin and make it like a nice little entryway. And we did that like on September 1st.
How cute.
It's cute, right?
It is adorable.
It's great. I'm not putting up my Christmas tree.
Sure.
I'm not putting up my turkey decorations. But I do get excited about fall. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about learning how I'm supposed to close down my pool for the year. So I have to pump like a third of the water out of it and put all these chemicals in it. And we bought a winter cover, which is different from the solar cover that you use in the summer. So I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, I get excited about it. I think it's fine.
Now, I'm not into some people associate Halloween with like all the scary movies that typically, with normal theaters running their normal schedule, you'd see a lot of Halloween scary horror movies coming out like September, but mostly October. I'm not into those kind of movies. It's not that I'm scared by them. I don't find it to be like an interesting genre for me. But I did used to watch like the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 around Halloween. That was like a quasi tradition for a while. Like the week of, those were good kind of Halloween films. So I'd be curious if anybody else has any, outside of like the fall means football to me people. Like I'd be curious what other traditions, now you can just put a hay bale pile
straw
every year.
This is the Midwest. Get it right. Get it right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we're on the fringe of geek culture, and because I've been following Adam Savage, who I think I've talked about for the last 7 episodes, sorry everyone, he's very into cosplay. And this started before I was even aware of Adam Savage in art school, when my fellow classmates would put a lot of time. You've got industrial design majors, You've got fashion design majors who have access to materials, and they would put a ton of time into beautiful Halloween costumes. You guys, I've been thinking about this for almost 2 decades. I'm pretty sure I want to get into like cosplay a little bit and come up
I
with
want you to do that too.
come up with like some really sweet Halloween costumes. I say that every year, and then time gets away from me and I don't do it. Like, I want to lean in, like starting on November 1st this year, I want to start mine for next Halloween and walk around the neighborhood in like a kick butt Star Wars costume.
Like what the details? Do you have any
Well, since I don't have
thoughts?
since I don't have a vacuum form machine, I can't make my own stormtrooper armor. But I'm thinking like, the costumes that they had in Return of the Jedi that were basically just like the big camouflage tarps over their bodies, like parkas. Like, I think I could do that and make my own blaster and make the helmet. Like, something cool like that, something that's relatively easy, not too involved. But I do want it to be quality. So it's always something I've wanted to do. It's something where, as I said, time gets away from me and I don't do it. But man, I think that's something I would enjoy the making side of, the creative side of.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the fun walking around the neighborhood with the kids on the actual day of Halloween side of. And then you would have it in your closet for
Think about all the places you could wear it.
I know. Cosplay is something that I really do think I would get into if I just invested the time. But yeah.
honey, can I wear this to your cousin's wedding?
No,
Yeah.
I've said it 100 times.
Please.
I feel like movies as a kid led me to believe there were going to be a lot more costume parties as an adult. And I have so few opportunities to wear costumes.
Yeah.
So many less than I thought. And here we are. I haven't been to one in years.
All of this probably stems from the fact that we grew up in pretty conservative homes where Halloween was just not a thing that you got into or participated in. And so I feel like as adults now, we've really embraced the idea that it's just fun to dress up and have fun and watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. In fact, I wasn't allowed to go to one of my friends' houses because he had the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas and would often watch it. So there you go.
Yeah. Halloween was always a fun time for me growing up. And then even like high school, we always had Halloween parties at friends' houses and stuff. But yeah, you're right. After I was in my 20s, probably last time I dressed up for a party. Probably early to mid 20s. And then somebody's opening things. I heard it. Anyway, I forgot. Now I had a train of thought. That was all going somewheres. And then somebody had to open up their can of backroom coffee or whatever it is.
You were saying how you hadn't participated in a costume party until your 20s.
That's right. Oh, so we did when the kids were little like babies, like 1 and months old and 2 and 1 years old. We dressed them up as animals, and then my wife and I dressed up as zookeepers.
That's cute.
So I did that.
See, it's fun.
That's it.
Who doesn't want to pretend like there's somebody else for just a little bit?
Yeah.
And it can spice up your marriage life. So, there's that. So just, you guys, we should get into costumes.
Just before you said that, I was about to jokingly say, sometimes when I'm home alone, I'd like to pretend I'm Dylan.
As I've said many times before, I don't know many people that if they had a custom tailored set of Stormtrooper armor, they wouldn't have a blast wearing that around. I don't care if it's Halloween or not. You would love that.
Around where?
Easton, the mall.
Just go to Easton. And,
Yeah, just how cool would that be?
Yeah, it'd be real cool.
Anyway, we're just man children.
It's true. Yeah, that's very true. I got nothing else.
Where were we?
I don't. You totally threw me off with wanting to be home alone and dressed up like me or whatever you're.
Well,
I mean, I get it. I totally understand. I'm just saying you threw me off a little bit.
I feel like my wife is hinting at me that we need to get a gaming console.
It's a great problem.
Right? More than once, she's been so like when we're putting the entertainment center together, that's not done yet. It's funny because like we have this big entertainment center kind of thing that we put together that has shelving and stuff that's going to be in it when it gets here in next month. And the only piece of AV that I have to like put in it is a little Apple TV. That's it. There's no Blu-ray player. There's nothing else. As we discussed, my speakers are powered, so I don't even have a stereo system to put in there. Or anything. So yeah, I think she wants me to get a. Should I just surprise her one day and buy myself a console?
I think the answer is yes.
Is that the way that works?
Yeah, if this is something that the expectation is this is a family console,
Yeah, of course it is.
Well,
then
yeah, it's a family console.
I mean, well, the point I'm going to make, I think it has to be a Switch then, right now. But like,
Okay.
if you can get away with anything, wait for the PlayStation 5 with like a 4K Blu-ray player built in, and that covers like discs and it covers gaming and.
Mm-hmm.
It's new and it'll be great for a long time. But
I think Kendall's an Xbox guy.
I was an Xbox guy for sure.
yeah, well, or the new one of that, then that's fine.
Well, I was both. Like, so I was PlayStation. I legitimately had both. Like, as a high schooler and college kid, I had both. They sat right next to each other, and I played both.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that's perfectly acceptable, listeners. We love you if you are a PlayStation person. We love you or if you're an Xbox person. And we love you if you're a Nintendo person. We like to joke about PlayStation being the best. You do you, boo-boo.
My all-time favorite gaming titles were the Halo ones. So that's a feather in the cap for Xbox because I loved Halo.
Totally fair. I think the Switch would be the best one for now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or whatever the next Nintendo thing.
Can I shoot aliens with a Switch?
Probably.
Okay. If I can shoot aliens, I'm cool.
Yeah.
The left Joy-Con is eventually going to start drifting on you, and so that will just be a reality that you have to deal with, or just buy a third-party controller. So
I will learn what all of that means someday, maybe.
Okay. Anything else, fellas, before we wrap this one up?
If a listener, this is your first time, or if you haven't done so yet, go to artiusman, ARTIUS man.com for literally the best men's products for like oils and lotions and also candles like on the planet. I think they ship everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a promo code, the middle, that'll get you 25% off your first order. If you haven't gone there yet, go do that. As we just discussed, Christmas is going to be here in like weeks. Go get some gifts because nobody ever knows what to buy, guys, because we don't say things out loud that we want.
Yeah.
So
you know that you like to smell good, and you know that you like your place to smell good. And the problem with getting your place to smell good is you go to the store to try to buy a candle, and all they have are sissy smells, right? And you don't want a sissy smell, and you don't want your house to smell like sugar cookie necessarily. You want man smells.
mm-hmm.
And my friends, that is where dudes go to buy candles for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And do you guys smell that? Do you guys smell that right now?
No, I don't. And I wish I did.
I smell
Okay. Well, not only is it my barbershop, my Artius Man barbershop soy blend candle, but it is also the beard oil that I have on right now. So I highly recommend their products. All of the beard oils, the beard balms, the shampoos, the body washes, all of it is great. You're going to love it. 25% off your first order. Make sure that you fill your cart and get a big bang for your buck using promo code The Middle.
The Middle.
And there's not, I don't think there's anything official yet, and I maybe shouldn't be saying this, but I do believe that they're coming out with a Dylan scented candle.
Beautiful.
So do you want your house to smell like Dylan? Go to www.artiusman.com. Use promo code The Middle. It will help Artius Man out, but you guys, we get a little kickback when you use that promo code. That's how promo codes work if you're new to online shopping. It helps us. It brings you quality content like that you've just experienced in episode 67 and more when you shop from our partners and affiliates. So thank you, Artius Man. Thank you all for listening. Anything else, fellas?
Out.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Join us next week at From the Middle. I have been Corey. That has been Dylan. That down there has been Kendall. We love you. Treat each other right. Don't be a jerk. Be kind. Enjoy your pumpkin spice latte. We love you. Bye.